Hello there, Gamerinos and Gamerinas. Welcome to UnicornStorm. This is Rady, and today we are going to take a look at the demo version for the new Final Fantasy Theatrhythm game that releases later this month. I'm really looking forward to this game, so of course I got myself this demo version and started playing it. And so far it is quite good, which was to be expected from a Theatrhythm game. If you like rhythm games, if you like Final Fantasy, and if you like the awesome music made by composer Nobuo Uematsu, then you owe yourself to play this game, or any of the other Theatrhythm games, which might now be obsolete with this new release. Well, we'll see about that. As expected, this demo version is a bit limited. We only get access to a few songs, and we can only level up party members up to level 30. Multiplayer is locked for now, and we can't collect some of the items that will be available in the full game. Instead, we get blasted with advertisements. Holy shit, after every few songs this game needs to promote itself. Even have us sit through an unskippable trailer. God damn it, just let me try out the fucking game. But when we get to play it, it's pretty alright. We once again get presented with a huge number of songs that we can't all play in this demo version, but they are here from the whole Final Fantasy series, as well as spin-off titles. And can we please stop pretending that Final Fantasy XIII had even passable music and deserved to be in a game like this? An option to just filter out a game would be highly appreciated. Songs are once again divided up into field music stages and battle music stages, and I guess there will be event music stages as well, where we watch a cutscene and just have to hit buttons once in a while. With every unlocked game, we get access to a number of heroes from that game that we can then mix and match to form our party. And by beating music stages, those party members level up and learn new abilities. And here the game already changed up the formula a bit. The previous two games had a kinda ability point system to equip a number of special abilities. Depending on how many ability points a character had, they could maybe just equip one huge strong ability and fill up the rest of their slots with weaker abilities, or have a more balanced setup. In this new iteration, every character has 3 ability slots. So you don't really have to manage your points and balance stronger and weaker abilities. You just have to decide which 3 you want to equip. And that's it. At this point, I couldn't say if this approach will lead to a more or less tactical decision-making process. But my guess is that the system will have a lot less depth than in the previous 2 games. It also seems that there are a lot less usable items in this game that you can just kind of activate to bring with you to a music stage, instead of choosing only a single one to equip it to your party. But to be fair, I never really used the single-use items in the previous games, so I guess this is more streamlined, and it makes it easier to just hop into a battle and bring with you what you need, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's what it comes down to. The whole management aspect of this game is more streamlined, more simplified, but you still have a lot of options when it comes to preparing for battle and team composition. But what about the meat of the game, the music stages? The first game was a bit bare bones. There was a kind of story mode, if you want to call it that, where you just selected a game from the Final Fantasy series and then played through like 3 or 4 songs and got a kinda story synopsis. Then there was free mode, where you just select any song that you want and play through it. And then there was quest mode, where you had to play through a number of randomized songs and beat a boss at the end. Which meant that you not only needed to play well, but also have a high enough party level to defeat said bosses. Oh, and there was of course multiplayer. All of these games have multiplayer, so I won't mention it again. The second game expanded on all these systems. Well, not really on the story mode, because the second game realized that anyone who'd buy this game would be familiar with the Final Fantasy series, so they don't need a story synopsis mode. So they threw out the whole mode, but added a bunch more songs to the free mode. And they created a pretty neat quest mode, which now featured a kind of overworld with multiple crossing and intersecting paths, where you were sometimes able to choose which route to take for a chance to get better treasures, or just to avoid some of the songs you really didn't want to play. And it was just a fucking great time, a Final Fantasy musical adventure. And now this game is a bit in between. At least in the demo version there is no quest mode, at least no randomized quest mode. There is no journey that features music from different Final Fantasy games. Instead, the game doubled down and expanded on the first game's story mode. So now you once again select a game from the Final Fantasy series and you play more or less through a synopsis of its story. That means you might start off with a random battle featuring the normal battle music, followed by a field music stage, so a walking segment that doesn't play too differently to the battle stages, and which might feature, let's say, the overworld theme. And next would be a boss battle featuring the boss music, then there might be another field music featuring some town music, and so forth and so forth. Sometimes you're presented with a choice, with a selection of music battles, but this doesn't result in some branching paths, at least not for now in this demo version. You just select whatever you want to play and then can move on to the next level. Or you can play through all the different choices. The game doesn't stop you from either. It's a fun approach to a Theatrhythm story mode. And I'm really looking forward to playing through all these, let's call them collections. Well, not all of them. But I do hope that there will be a mode where you can go on a randomized journey. I mean, you can mix and match party members from all the different games, so it would make sense to take them on a journey through all the different soundtracks. Maybe this will be a reward for completing one of the stories. Or maybe not. I really hope so, but I'm not sure. So, presentation-wise, the game is great. It still features the same cartoony art style as the previous games, and if you didn't like it back then, you won't like it here. I'm fine with it, I think it's cute. The battle segments and walking sections are more dynamic this time around. Like, your party moves around during battle and multiple party members are able to attack in unison. Enemy combatants join or leave the battle more dynamically. There are now battles during walking segments to kinda simulate random encounters. Even summons aren't a specific section in a song anymore, but can just appear at any time during a song, so long as the summon charge meter is filled up. But it's the most important thing that I'm not so sure about, the actual gameplay. For the most part, it's fine. It's what I expected. It plays mostly the same as the previous games. You still have 3 basic musical note types. You have commands where you just have to press any button at the correct time, which is when a note passes these circles on the right of the screen. And aside from these movie event stages, notes always flow from the left to the right. And good on them to keep it that way after the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game, where the commands moved from the background into the foreground and gave you much less of an idea for when you have to hit the button. This presentation is just so much more clear. But yeah, you have those notes where you just have to press a button. Then there are notes where you have to hold a button and release it at the correct time. And then there are directional inputs, where you have to just flick the stick into the correct direction. And sometimes these are combined with hold commands. So instead of just releasing the button, you have to flick the stick at the end as well. And during these walking segments, during the field music stages, there are also variations of the hold commands where you need to move your target circle up and down. And these appeared a bit finicky at first because I tried to just slightly adjust the thumbstick, and so it led to me missing a bunch of commands until I realized that this is completely binary. So in these instances, your target circle moves mostly automatically, and you just have to readjust a bit. And by that I mean just press the fucking thumbstick as much as you can, because the game doesn't care. The game only checks if you pressed up when it went up or pressed down when it went down. There's no nuance to that, so just hold it up or down and it suddenly becomes a lot easier. The biggest change in the actual gameplay in this game is the appearance of simultaneous notes, where you have to press 2 buttons at once. They did the same in the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game, and there you even had to press 3 buttons simultaneously at times. But yeah, here at times 2 commands can appear simultaneously. Sometimes it's just the same command, but sometimes you have to perform different actions at the same time. So press a hold command, but also flick the stick for directional commands. And there are also directional commands that demand 2 directions at once, which is kinda the same as just presenting you with 2 simultaneous directional commands. It's just less visible, so I would have hoped that they just chose the latter. But again, those look more complicated than they actually are. So let's say there is a command where the 2 arrows point left and right outwards, followed by a command where the 2 arrows point left and right inwards. The game only wants you to flick the stick in these 2 directions, so just make the same motion twice, the game doesn't care. Now, I wondered how this simultaneous action system would work on touch controls, because I play those games mostly on touch controls. It just feels better to tap your finger or the stylus to the beat of the music, and you get into a better flow. It just feels better. Well, that's the kicker. There are no touch controls with this iteration. Only button controls. And this is where my problems with the new game lie. I mean, the button controls are fine. I tried one of the songs on the highest difficulty that isn't available for all of the songs, it seems. And, well, I got destroyed. Maybe it's just a me thing, but I think playing these games with a standard controller, just pressing buttons normally, has a way less tactile feel to it than using a specially designed controller for games like this, like the guitar controller from Guitar Hero or the drum controller from Donkey Kong Jungle Beat or whatever it was called. And well, these games, to me, were made for the touchscreen, and the Switch has a touchscreen. It just doesn't support touch controls, which kinda lessens the fun, the enjoyment for me. To be fair, the previous 2 games were perfectly playable with button controls, so I guess it's fine. I just need to grow accustomed to it. But for now, I don't like it as much. That's what I meant with I'm not sure if this game will make the previous one obsolete. This new version just misses a feature the previous version had that I very much enjoyed. But we'll see what the future brings. For now, this seems to be a pretty darn good rhythm game with some excellent music, mostly. And of course it comes with about 50 or 60 bucks worth of DLC. And if you bought all the DLC songs in the previous game, then I have good news. You are allowed to pay for all of them again. It's the same fucking songs, They are available day one, and they thought to themselves, you know what? To all our fans who bought pretty much the same game twice already, we sell those songs again. And if they didn't pick up the fucking digital deluxe edition, then there are even fewer songs they get to play. Because 27 fucking songs are hidden behind just another paywall. So yeah, the business model for this game is the fucking worst. Not because downloadable songs are bad in and of itself, but come on, they could have just given us the songs that were already available for years prior to this new iteration. But hey, I guess we suckers just ask for it every time. So yeah, there's that. Make of it what you want. But yeah, that's it for now. I might make another video when the full game releases, if there are any big changes, if there's anything more to talk about. But yeah, we'll see about that. For now, have an awesome day. That's it from Rady, and I hope to see you again on the next game.